the first thing a new entrepreneur needs to learn is how to control their mind, because guess what? It's all on you. It's all on you, buddy. Problems are going to come. And the way that you view those problems is going to determine your actions, which is going to determine your outcomes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special episode. So normally we do these on Thursdays, but Thanksgiving and all, we wanted to bring you guys some awesome guests here to talk specifically about how they are earning 6 or 7 figures, or in Nick's case, multiple 7 figures, and how they've used groups and community building to make that even easier. So everybody drop a hello, say hi, Nick, in the comments, and let's kick this thing off. I love Nick's story. I've interviewed it before, and I want you guys to seriously, whether you're watching this live or replay, delete everything off your calendar for the next hour and be present, because this stuff is powerful. So Nick, thank you so much for hopping on. I'm excited to get to share your story again.
What's up, man? So excited to be here. Love sharing the story. Anything I can do to help those people aspiring to go out there and grow, build their businesses. I'm excited to talk, man.
Definitely. So for the people out there that don't really know your work, I'd love for you to share a little bit. I want to kind of preface, the parts of Nick's story I know to you guys too. That the one thing I love most about your story last time we had an interview is we talked about the journey to 7 figures, and how also when you got started there was 10 months of basically nothing happening, right?
Yeah, man. So it's been almost 6 years now. I was working in the NFL. I was working for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? And, from the outside, everyone would be like, oh, that's amazing. It's a dream job working in pro sports. And to an extent it was. I learned a ton. But like so many people probably watching this right now, I just felt a calling for more, something deeper. I need to go out there, have an impact, be my own boss, really take control of my own financial situation. So literally on a whim, I moved from Tampa, Florida to Utah to start an online marketing agency with my business partner. That's where I am today, down here in the gym dungeon. I'm celebrating the holidays with him right now. And so moved across the country, and we were going to start an online marketing agency. The only problem was we didn't know how to get clients. We didn't know how to sell. I didn't know anything about marketing. And back then there wasn't Facebook groups like this one to be a part of where you can learn all this stuff, right? Or maybe there was, and I just wasn't familiar with it. And so, we started off as like a local, SEO agency. We were going to try and work with, people around the local area here in Utah and Salt Lake City area. And 10 months, man, 0 sales, right? I went to BNI events. I tried cold calling. I sent emails. Nothing was working, right? I remember there was a 70-person BNI group in our area in Lehigh. And I met with every single individual business owner one by one over 3 months. Cause I was like, I'm going to meet everybody. I'm going to talk to them. I wore a suit. I was ready to go. And I sold zero things to anybody. And we were offering SEO for $4.99, right? I didn't know how to position my services. I didn't know the power of offers. I was a walking digital marketing agency at that time, because that's what we were starting, was a marketing agency. And if somebody needed email marketing, oh, cool, I could do that. Oh, you need a website? Yeah, we do that, right? I specialized in nothing. So we went out 10 months with zero sales. And I was just constantly trying to figure out what to do. The only way I was making or surviving at the time was I was actually gambling, playing daily fantasy sports. Shout out to my guys who play FanDuel, DraftKings. And I was eking out $1,000, $2,000 a month. And then lo and behold, I was constantly searching, like so many people here who are watching this, stay tuned, watch these things. You never know. It only takes one idea to really change your life. And I got an ad from a gentleman who I'm sure most people in this group know, Mr. Billy Jean. Billy Jean will forever have changed my life. And he introduced me to the power of Facebook ads, and also to the idea of video prospecting. And so I, bought his stuff. I invested in his course. I had no money. I literally had to go and borrow the money and figure out what to do. Cause I need to do something. I need to invest. I need to grow. I need to figure this out. Cause I wasn't going back to get a job. And through that, I started doing some of the video prospecting that was talked about inside the program. And I also learned about niching down, and we got super duper niche down, man. Literally we worked with chiropractors. Okay. It was a form of chiropractors. Everyone wants to go after chiropractors. Guys, if you're starting marketing agency, don't target chiropractors. Just trust me. Right. But I found out there was a subset of chiropractors that literally they wanted a type of patient that was over age 65 and had Medicare and had osteoarthritis of the knee. And I realized that I could generate those patients. And so we literally went from 0 to over $100,000 a month only working with chiropractors who treated patients who had osteoarthritis of the knee using an injection called hyaluronic acid. That's it. And that's when I learned the power of one niche, one service, one offer, and really dialing down and solving a specific problem. Because I just literally went to every chiropractor in the country who had hyaluronic acid listed on their website and said, yo, I can get you these patients. And I knew it was worth a lot of money to them. And, we blew up after that. As soon as we started doing that model, we went from 0 to, over 100K a month in 10 months. And then we did 1.7 million that first year. And then we've done multiple seven figures, every year since.
That's incredible. So everybody watching this right now, do me, Nick, and yourself a favor and comment one niche down below. Like, you guys see how crazy specific that is? Like, it's not digital marketing service for any business ever. It's not even digital marketing services for chiropractors. It's not even Facebook ads for chiropractors. It's Facebook ads for chiropractors who do this one tiny thing very specifically, and bam, what do you know?
Solving problems, man. All businesses at the end of the day is solving a problem for somebody else. They're buying a future solution. So focus on the problems and build your offer and your service around the problems in the marketplace. Don't just, randomly toss stuff out there and see what works. Find a problem, build the solution, and then go sell it.
Definitely. Yeah, I love it. And I think what really stood out in part of your story was the amount of perseverance it takes, where most people, they might get 1 week, 1 month, 3 months into something without seeing notable or any results. And then they're like, well, guess this isn't for me. So let's talk to maybe some of the Facebook group owners out there who got started or have been started, or had some motion, had some movement, or didn't have motion and movement, but know the results are possible. How do you stay motivated when it seems like just nothing's clicking?
Yeah, man. So there's a long story behind this, but the first thing I want to tell everyone is stop fucking buying into this dream that you're going to get rich overnight, right? It takes time, right? The gurus, there's so many Instagram people out there flashing Lambos and shit. We're going to get rich tomorrow. If you listen to YouTube ads, it disgusts me. This laptop, like, can it be done? Absolutely. But nobody does it without work, perseverance, understanding business, understanding how to sell, marketing, operations, all that type of stuff. And so, like, it's so critical that you go into this knowing it's going to be a battle. You're doing something different than 99% of everyone else is doing, right? And if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? So how I stayed motivated was I'm a huge, huge believer in mindset books, training, reading, all that stuff. Over the last 10 years, I probably read, 1,000, 2,000 books. I've spent 20 grand going to Tony Robbins events all across the country, like completely changed my life. Cause I used to be like a complete failure and drug addict and failed out of school, a decade ago. Right. I was certainly not someone they would look at and be like, hey, you might be able to, do something. So what kept me going, honestly, was what I call a motivational bath. Like, I still to this day, I think it's the most important factor in success in life. And you guys might have heard this before. Have a good morning routine, all that stuff. But I can't stress enough how important it is to get into state and get into the right mindset first thing in the morning. So every morning I'd be blaring like Tony Robbins and Les Brown and Jocko. And these days it's Goggins and, all this type of stuff. Right. And I listen to those while I work out and exercise, and I just picture what I'm going to do for that day. And that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps you going through the fight. Right. Because guess what, guys? As soon as you do start making some money, the fun doesn't stop there, and things don't always just become easy right overnight, right? You got to be consistent and sustain it. So that's the big thing, is you got to understand that your mindset is going to determine your trajectory and your outcome in life, right? I've always asked myself, why is it that two people can go through the same course, coaching program, get the same information, drastically different results, drastically? And it's almost entirely due to the mindset with which you attack it, right? And so many people, especially when you're getting started or if you're newer, we have so much fear of what other people are thinking about us, what they might see about us, all that type of stuff. We got to understand that nobody's thinking about you. They're thinking about what you're thinking about them. Right. And so, like, we've got to understand, like, we've got to cut this fear shit. And I understand it's easier said than done, but the only thing you can do is just go out there, take massive fucking action. Right. Like, one of the things I always said, massive action is the cure all. Just keep plowing, keep going, and believing yourself that there's a solution. And then constantly feed yourself, the right type of information, because what you input in your brain is going to determine your outcomes and your actions and things like that. I don't say that from like a law of attraction, woo-woo, sit in your basement, and all of a sudden you're going to manifest this type of shit, right? No, you have to believe you're going to get a result, and you have to have the belief in order to take the action in order to get the result. So yeah, I can go deeper into that, but the last thing I want to say again is be very wary of the people who are posting constantly all high and mighty on Facebook and Instagram, because that can derail you. Well, why are they doing so well? Or this is too hard, or, I just don't have it in me. Fuck all that noise, right? Half of them are broken behind the scenes. And I'm not saying everybody, right? Like, but just be careful with that, getting caught up into that culture.
Yeah. So if you guys are really picking up what Nick's putting down here, let me get a hashtag mindset down in the comments. Because that's such a major component of it. And like one thing, like when we were working together a couple years ago on like your agency course and everything, I remember seeing like how so much of what you were teaching people was not, hey, here's how to get a client. It was, here's how to step into the best version of yourself so you naturally get clients, and like how to work on your mind to handle the stress, the problems, the challenges, the this, that, because that's where the transformation happens. It's not just XYZ how to get a client, it's all the stuff around it. So I thought that was really unique that you taught that in your program. And I think that's why like I've seen so much different level of happy clients in results with you versus every other agency program out there. Is number one, you actually were running the 7-figure agency, so it was like massive knowledge. Number two is helping people actually not just get more information but get more transformation, and that was really key. So everybody else who has courses, online courses, like build that into what you have. I think that's actually one thing that I took away from you when I was building out one of my other programs. And I was seeing like, okay, where do people get stuck? Not just with strategy, but what's really, really holding them up. So I added more mindset content around, my story, how they can best prepare themselves, all these different things that is going to let them take the ebbs and flows, let them take the challenges, let them take the wins, and just let that all happen. So yeah, really, really appreciate you sharing that and doing that for people.
100%, man. And anybody who's running a coaching program of any kind, I don't care whether they're doing weight loss or whatever, you got to start with mindset, especially if you're dealing with newer entrepreneurs. And the reason why I make such a big, discussion about this is because the first thing a new entrepreneur needs to learn is how to control their mind, because guess what? It's all on you. It's all on you, buddy. Problems are going to come. And the way that you view those problems is going to determine your actions, which is going to determine your outcomes. And so like, you have to be able to reframe your mind. And if you think about it, man, a lot of times the tactics and strategies, they're out there, right? Like they're done, and weight loss is a perfect example of this. Like, do we really need another book on, how to lose weight and all that stuff? No, it's all about the mind. It's all about the mindset. And if you can reframe the mindset, and then get them to execute on the strategies that you have inside your program that will work, that's how you get things done. Like, I'm obsessive. Like, there's this, and now we're on the topic of coaching programs, but like there's this like this thought process out there that I've heard that it's like, well, it's not really my fault if they didn't go through the program. I'm like, it's 100% your fault if they didn't go through the program. Like, I obsess over it, right? So like, I have my marketing agency that I run, and we've got, and we've got our team, and we run all that stuff. I also have the agency coaching programs, right? I obsess over everyone getting through everything. How is their journey through the process? How are they doing mindset wise? Are they setting up their day properly? Are they taking the effective actions? And I reach out to them all the time. Like, hey, did you reach out to people this week? Hey, did you do what you're supposed to do this week? All that type of stuff. So I can't understate it enough. Mindset is fucking everything, right? Strategy is important. I'm a huge strategy guy and strategist, and I want to know the fastest way, but like without the right mindset to get up and attack day after day, month after month, like it's going to be a lot harder.
100%. And I think that's one thing that I saw as super powerful also in your marketing is like when we were working together on that launch and everything, I was like, hey, can you, share some of the testimonials with me? And you're like, sure, here's a few dozen videos, screenshots, this, that, like massive results. And I was like, holy shit, like this is incredible. Like most people do not get testimonials like that are so large and heartfelt and real and transformational, that, assisted in, you being able to, pull off that 70K launch. And like roughly how much do you think you've earned from the Crusaders course and coaching programs and such?
Oh man, over 7 figures, for sure. And that, that launch really started it all. And this has all been kind of part-time, right? Because and we did the launch, I think in 2018. I didn't really start, it was kind of just an underground thing, right? The launch, got a lot of exposure, and it was and awesome. And then from there, it was just people coming in because I was focused on my agency, and I still am to this day, right? Like I think that if you are going to coach and all that stuff, like make sure you're really good at what you do, and we do have a bit of an epidemic of, people who don't always do the result and they go out and coach on it. And that's not really neither here nor there. I'm just of the opinion, be really good at what you do. And like, that's how you can really coach and be in this game long-term too. But over time, people just continued to come and come because of that launch, and all the testimonials and the results that, that came from it. Right now we've got hundreds of videos and, over a dozen 7-figure people this year alone inside the coaching program. And yeah, so, but it really, that launch was a huge blast off with, I think we had like 400 people in the group or something like that. And it was one of those things that, really helped leverage to get to that next level and also start spreading word of mouth, right? Because most of my programs up until about June of this year was all word of mouth. You don't see me posting a whole ton. I had my Facebook group and that was it, right? And I didn't even post my personal profile. It was really just a Facebook group, sharing information in there and kind of just growing it on the side, mainly because I'm passionate about it and I want agency owners to have,
Yeah.
the right information and information that actually works, as well.
Yeah. So like, what do you think was like the big benefit? Because I remember like when you and Simon came to me, you're like, I'm really good at the agency, this business, but I just don't have a process for running this launch and monetizing this group at a higher level. So how did working with me to get that process in your hands and really work side by side with me? How did that impact the results, the rollout, like the ease of doing everything?
Yeah, man. So I want to take a quick step back on this and talk about something that really comes down to what every entrepreneur needs to do. They need to be able to build systems, they need to build processes, they need to build leverage and systemize their day, because your routine will determine your outcomes. Your processes and your systems of how you wake up in the morning and how you sleep at night, and the type of food that you do and the steps that you do every single day is going to determine your outcomes. And so I'm always looking. Hell, I just paid a guy 30 grand last week. Invested in myself. I'm still investing in shit all the time. I'm going to invest well over $100,000 this year in personal development and mindset and training programs across a variety of areas. And you know what I'm buying? I'm buying the system, the process, and the person who's done it before. And so by far was that huge. I hadn't done a 7-day, bot launch and had all that type of stuff set up before. I didn't have launch posts ready to go. I didn't have those types of things. I've always been a paid ads guy in the back end. And so like, it wasn't an area that I was strong in because I'm a big advertiser, right? And I love to run ads and all that stuff. But I knew that there was huge opportunity here. And because this was going to be, at the time, it was planned to just really kind of be a side thing, a passion project type thing. I was like, who's the best? I'm going to go find them. And that's what it was able to give me was that process, that week-long process, the 10-day process, I think it was, where, we had every single day, here's the new video that's going to drop out. Here's the bot. Here's the list that we're going to get, or the messaging that we're going to send. Here's how we're going to structure it. Here's where the offer is going to come into play. And it's all going to lead in this webinar, and then we're going to sell it on the back end. And that's what I'm buying. And I encourage everyone to constantly be thinking of your life if you want to be like truly free, in systems, leverage, and processes. It might sound the opposite, like, oh, I got to live by this rigid system. But I promise you, if you have good systems and you have good processes, you will actually have true freedom in your life, because you're going to get the results and the outcomes that you're looking for.
Yeah, 100%. And like, it's funny that you say that might seem too rigid, but it does set you free. Like 100%. If you have, a machine that you turn on the faucet, water comes out every morning, guess what? That's a system. You don't have to go and dig for water. It's the same thing in your business. If you have systems in place, they can give you what you want, whether it's clients, efficiency, save time, make money, whatever it is, you can lean on those systems and make them better. So that's really what it's all about. And like, especially, at your level with building the agency and the coaching side, you need a lot of systems. So
it's all systems, man. Everything's process. Like my role is to build the system and plug people into it at this point, and honestly, even when you're doing it all yourself, or if you're solo, you test your different systems, you figure out what works, and then you literally write those things down, and then you get other people to come in and do them for you, right? Everything comes down to that, building that leverage and getting the systems and processes. And I'm all about investing to get those, right? And I invest in every aspect of business. And one of the most important ones, the most important one when you're getting started, is launching and getting clients, getting money in the door. Sales, right? Sales is everything. And so having an ability and a system to bring you sales opens up the door for everything else, because nothing happens without sales. Doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter how good your program is or whatever. Yeah. Nothing happens without sales.
100%. So like, what do you think was the the biggest impact or the biggest takeaway you had from, you know, working with me on the launch process, really being able to make the most out of the group?
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly just the systems, the step by step, the templates. I didn't have to think a whole lot about it. I was like, here's the prompts, go work with this, you know, and I'm a big guy on psychology and persuasion. And I could tell that what you would put together. I'm like, yeah, this makes a whole lot of sense. This is how I would construct a webinar. He's just doing it in his way and he's got it set up beautifully here. And so I was like, okay, this makes a ton of sense to me as to why I would be doing this video on this day and this message on this day. And so that was the big thing, right? Just being able to take away some of that thinking and the unknowing and just buying into the proven process. I mean, it's really what it was all about. The prompts help a ton. So you don't have to come up with everything right off the, you know, right off the top of your head. And you're just, and model what works, man. Like, I mean, that's what it just comes down to. Just buy the fucking, it's just anything, right? Like, and this is how I feel about everything in life. And it's never steered me wrong. You know, like I'm just so big on investing and buying, you know, the model that works and then just, you know, rock and roll with it from there. And then from there you can iterate and, you know, add your own twist to it. But like model what works.
100%. That's what it's all about. Like, I remember I was at this point where I wanted some next level help, and I think that's when I really kind of got more into like the Dan Henry world, and he was my first like big investments in not only the course and all that, but like having those foundational marketing skills. I didn't go and, you know, run a Facebook ads agency like you did. I did a little bit, but I took all those foundational skills and then I warped that into what I actually wanted to build, which is more community building. And it's gaining those little bits and those big bits of knowledge that you put together to create your own machine, and just having these processes stack up and your mindset, your skills, your exercises, all that stuff stack up, you can handle anything. So that's huge. So like for people who you know, might have a challenge of, you know, kind of hitting the same income ceilings, same thing every month, every year, and who know they are, you know, highly curious about the next level, but have not broken through it yet, what advice would you give for those people?
Nothing changes if nothing changes. You got to do something different. You have to get a new idea. You have to do something different, right? So one of my all-time favorite quotes was an Einstein quote, and that is, you can't solve a problem using the same line of thinking that you created it with. And so what that means is you need new information. I'm constantly reading books, constantly investing in programs, new ideas, because that's how you can break through. And that's where you start to put the data points together to get your own ideas, right? And so nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't do something different, if you don't take a gamble, if you don't take a bet, if you don't, you know, invest, if you don't, you know, bet on yourself, then again, nothing's going to change, right? And so, and sometimes you just want to do it faster and make it, yeah, nothing changes, nothing changes. That's the big thing, man. That's really the biggest thing that I can say. And you need new information in order to reach the next level always, because what got you to where you are is going to keep you there unless you learn more.
100%. It's always about that continued growth, and you know, you're such an example of that. Like, dude, you're gonna be a billionaire in 10 years. You know that. So I can't wait to see it happen. We'll be flying around golden helicopters in no time.
Damn right, well, man.
Yeah, so I see we just got Mr. Kyle Hop on. So we're gonna wrap up with Nik here. For everybody watching, make sure you guys not only say thank you to Nik, but write one takeaway down in the comments. So he dropped a ton of gold. Like one of the quotes I liked, I dropped in the chat. There is nothing changes, nothing changes. That's huge. Like, look at what you got going on. Look at your day-to-day, look at your life, look at your business. What's changing? What do you want to change? Are you changing to make the change?
Yeah.
Think about it. So love it, Nik. Thank you so much. And I know we probably have a couple of agency people out here. You know, where can people go to learn more about what you got going on and connect with your stuff?
Yeah, man. So probably the best place is I got a YouTube channel that has a lot of videos on it. Nik Robbins on YouTube, and then Instagram at NIKDROBBINS. And then add me on Facebook. Shoot me a message. I respond. I talk with people all the time. You know, I'm passionate about agency owners in the agency world. I run my own agency, and I'm just out there. You know, it's a great it's a perfect, it's an amazing business model to go out there and start generating some cash flow. So anybody who's an agency owner wants to reach out, feel free, message me. I've also got my group, the seven figure agency sales and marketing Crusader Nation. So those are the three main places.
Cool. I'm gonna add those down in the chat as well. All right, where are we at? I got all these group names with 7-figure in it. So let's see. What was it again?
7-figure sales and marketing secrets. And it's Crusader Nation with the K.
There we go. Bam. Love it. So guys, go hop on. As you can tell, just from what we talked about with Nik earlier, his stuff works incredibly because it levels up your mind first and then gives you the strategies. So you guys are going to love it.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, Arne. I appreciate you. Everyone watching, just don't give up. Just keep fighting. And seriously, there's unlimited opportunity. It grows every single day out there. Just keep fighting. Don't succumb to the negative thought patterns in your brain, and make it happen. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate everyone else. Hopefully you guys had a good one and great holiday to everybody.